Hi there. Welcome to Bourbon Turntable. We are the show that blends the love of music with the love of Christmas. Christmas? Whiskey? Whatever the case may be. Tonight, we are talking about Christmas, and we have someone that loves Christmas as much as anyone I know. America's favorite redhead, Jolee Kasprzak, is with us. Hi, Jolee.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. And
Good.
with me tonight, as always, is my festive friend, Drew Crawley.
Howdy.
Howdy. Ho, ho, ho. You like
Indeed.
how about my hat? You like my hat? Does it work?
It's incredible. I feel
Yeah.
I should have prepared with a Christmas sweater or something.
Yeah.
You guys have got the gear on.
Yeah, Jolee, show everybody your shirt.
Yes.
There you go. Wait, what's it say?
It says Merry freaking Christmas.
Merry freaking Christmas. Awesome. Okay, so we're celebrating Christmas tonight. Hopefully getting you in the Christmas spirit because it is Christmas season and you need to be ready. There's somebody that's making a list and checking it twice. He's going to find out if you're naughty or nice. Maybe that's me. Could be.
That's a little creepy.
Well, if the shoe fits, I guess you wear it. But before we get into wonderful things about Christmas, we're going to talk about some Christmas cocktails and Christmas, some whiskeys that mean Christmas to us. So before we get into that, we want to tell you about the Bar Cart Co-op. Bar Cart Co-op is a collection of friends who produce content for the whiskey enthusiast. We have a Distiller's Talk with Alan Bishop and Christy Atkinson, true lovers of Christmas their own selves. They talk with distillers from across the country and around the world about everything and anything when it comes to distillation. Alan also has a show called If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Maybe he'll be talking about the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. That would be awesome. He also has a show, One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, where if you are a distiller, whether you're a naughty distiller or a nice distiller, you can send questions into Alan and he will answer those on YouTube posts and everybody can learn from you and your question. The newest member of Bar Cart Co-op is David Levine and Whiskey in My Wedding Ring. So we want to welcome David to the show. He has already been on my Whiskey Den. He was on our show a couple of months ago. We've got a Bar Cart show that, as you're listening to this, has already aired. But the last and certainly not least are the jolly old elves at my Whiskey Den. My Whiskey Den is where craft whiskey is king with Pat and Mike and Mitch every Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Tune in live for their show and enjoy. So, in our show, here we are. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. First of all, let's talk about a whiskey that means Christmas to you. And Jolee, I know you've got one there, so why don't you share that with everybody?
I do. So this is Maker's Mark, specifically the community batch.
Mm-hmm.
This is put out by the Lee Foundation. It means Christmas to me because it always comes out towards the end of November. I believe I actually just bought this year's and pickup is November 28th. So it comes out like right before Christmas. And this program means a lot to me personally. I have it right here. I'm just going to read to you what it is. The Lee Initiative strives to create more diversity and equality in the restaurant industry through small, impactful programs that help shape the next generation of industry professionals, including its Women Chefs program, which launched in 2018. So just being a woman in the restaurant industry and in the hospitality industry, really don't see a lot of women in roles like chefs or in the back of the house. You don't see a lot of women that are general managers of restaurants or hotels or wineries, distilleries, things like that. So it's really, this is just important to me just in general. and they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So I just
Yeah.
recommend follow them
Yep.
online, Instagram, all of that good stuff. So these blends are always blended by women in this program. And we love Maker's Mark. We're a Maker's family. We're a Maker's family. So, and it's red and it's Christmas. And so was the first thing that I thought of when you said to
Yeah.
me. So
Very good.
cheers.
Very
Love
good.
it.
So now you were essentially breaking that mold yourself, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've worked in the food service restaurant industry for a long time. You've worked uh, in distilleries. You're working in the winery now,
Hmm.
and you're just not hanging out in the background being
No.
you're just not being eye candy, Jolee, although you could. You're really out there promoting brands, uh, uh, involvement with the creative side of
Yeah.
things. So tell us a little bit. This is kind of a side journey here, but I think this is important. Tell us a little bit about what that path has been like for you.
So I started off, my family was in the restaurant industry. My grandfather kind of did everything in a restaurant.
Mhm.
Uh, Basically ran the whole thing. Wasn't his in particular, but he was the general manager. But when you're a general manager, you fill every single position. Um, so I always like to say, like, it's just in my blood. Um, but I started off in the restaurant business when I was 15 and a half.
Mhm.
I took a short time off. I worked for a sign company for 9 years, and then a women's organization for a short period of time when I moved to Indiana. So then I went right back into the food service business when I met my husband Andy, and it's just kind of where I've been. I got out of the full service restaurant um, industry and moved to the wine and spirit industry when I went to work for French Lick Wine and Spirits as their marketing director. And that's how I got involved. I was a wine drinker. I was not a bourbon drinker at
Mhm.
all. The only whiskey I had ever had was Crown, which was disgusting.
It goes well with Diet Mountain Dew,
Does
but yeah,
it?
yeah,
Does it? You like
yeah.
to
We've been told. Yeah.
drink that in a Glencairn glass?
Yes, yes. It's the only way to do it.
So I learned a lot about wine and what goes into making it and bottling it and all of that there. And then I learned literally how to drink whiskey just directly from Alan. And I
Mhm.
would come in at like 9 o'clock and there'd be 4 barrel samples on my desk. And it'd be like, tell me what you think. So that's how I got into that. I currently work for Patoka Lake Winery. I'm their winery manager. And we are building a distillery, Old Homestead Distilling Company, and I will be their distillery manager. I will be moving over to the distillery full time when that starts. May of 2024 is when we
Mhm.
expect that to be open.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm really nervous, but I have 100% found my home over there. They are my people. They are just fantastic, amazing. Shout out to them, Steve Bartels, Heather Setzer, and Steve Shirk. They just won the Will Cook Tourism Award, which in
Mhm.
Indiana is the highest award the state can give for tourism. So
Wow.
thank you. We own lodging, we own a marina, we rent boats, houseboats, floating cabins. The winery has suites. We have silos attached to the winery. There's 2-story suites inside our 2 silos. And then Old Homestead will have a 28-room hotel attached to it as well. So we're creating jobs in our little area of Wickliffe, Birdseye, and just doing some cool things. There's a brewery up there as well. So we'll be the only place in Indiana other than Cedar Creek that has a winery, a distillery, and a brewery all in one spot.
Wow.
Very cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
it's so exciting, you guys. It's so
Great.
exciting. There's so much that we're kind of holding off to show, like, just like we're picking out furniture and light fixtures and all of those really cool things that are behind the scenes that no one gets to see. We haven't showed our stills yet, and we've got those, and so that's all the cool stuff that we're kind of waiting to show. It's really hard to hold that back, but yeah, so it's fun. And so I think that is why, the community batch means a lot to me. I've been a general manager of a full service restaurant before. I've been a cook. I've, done every single job there is to do in a high volume full service restaurant. Being a winery manager was new to me, but I knew all of the components. It took me about a year to find my footing and feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. So yeah, so then jumping over to distillery manager is a huge challenge. And I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah.
And nervous and scared and
you'll be great. You'll be great. I'm
excited.
I couldn't think of anybody better to put in that role. So you'll be great.
Thank you.
Great. All right, Drew. So you get to follow that.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah.
That's not true, Drew. You have all kinds of cool music coming out.
Talk about that at some point, I'm sure.
But you've got a Christmas cocktail, I understand, right?
I do indeed. So my cocktail was a variation of a house cocktail that we've been making for about the last year. That we've been calling the Chestnut Sour. So for those that's not familiar, we live on Chestnut Street, and our house is the social hub for the friend group. And we've been making these whiskey sours all summer long, but we've been throwing in peach Alani Nu, which is an energy drink. So it's whiskey, sour mix, peach energy drink, and then a little bit of red wine floater. That's been the drink all summer at our house, and it's delightful. So when you approached me about a Christmas cocktail, I said, okay, how can I zhuzh this up just a little bit for the holidays? So I took out the Old Forester. I went with Wild Turkey 101 as the base spirit. It's got that cinnamon, baking spice kind of front line to it. Did the same sour mix. It's half lemon, half lime, and then probably about a quarter part of grapefruit juice. That's kind of how I make my sour mix. And then instead of the peach Alani, I did a cranberry relish and nutmeg simple syrup. So got that beautiful red color here. It was floating earlier, but it's been 25 minutes since I made this cocktail, so it's gotten its own thing. And then just floated a little bit of cab sav on the top. So it's got a really nice baking spice note. It's up there, kind of the palate forward, and then the nutmeg, and then the cranberry relish simple syrup really kind of comes through on the back end. You've got that tart thing. You've got the citrus. You got everything you like about a whiskey sour, but it's just got a little bit of a holiday flavor to it. So I'm enjoying it tremendously.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Can we post this recipe along with this when
I can text it to you anytime. Yeah.
Yeah. When we air this, though, can you tell the Bourbon Turntable fan group how to make?
Certainly.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So now I've got to follow both of you. And what I have is this is a pomegranate lime martini.
Nice.
In a nice, if you don't know if you can see it or not, Old Crow glass. So
outstanding.
So this is an ounce and a half of gin. I used Death Store gin, our good friend Fred Swanson, Dancing Goat. Then an ounce of lime juice, an ounce of pomegranate juice, and it called just for a half ounce of simple syrup. I had a lemon rosemary simple syrup that I'd made up, so I used that. And then shake it up real good with ice, strain it into the glass, garnish with a lime, and it kind of looks like Christmas.
Outstanding.
So, yeah.
Love it. Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, you guys.
That's pretty good.
Sounds delightful.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to lose the lime to make it easier to drink. So it may not be as pretty, but it'll still be at work. Hey, so we were talking a little bit already, Jolee, about what you're doing at Patoka.
Hmm.
So, and this is, if I can find the picture somewhere, I've got it. I know, I saw it. There it is. There's your reindeer juice. So tell us a little bit more about Patoka Lake Winery, where you guys are, where you can get your product and all that good stuff.
So, Patoka Lake Winery is a boutique winery. We are self-distributed just locally, just within 2 different counties and just a couple of different restaurants. You can purchase our wine if you live within the 30 states that Vino Shipper ships to. So PatokaLakeWinery.com. Reindeer juice is just a fun little label that we put on our plum wine, which is a semi-sweet wine that we make. We do not have a vineyard. Everything that we make just comes from fresh raw juice that we get brought in from wherever that those fruits were grown best that year. We have a fantastic supplier that supplies juice to wineries all over the United States. And then we actually, for our dry reds, we do get grapes that come in from the Lodi area in California. And we work with another winery called Turtle Run, and they have great processing equipment. So Steve and Heather will go up there and help them process all of the grapes. And then they will ferment on the skins, and then we'll go up and bring it down to our winery and then make our like our cab. We have cab coming in, Cab Franc, and I believe Merlot.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
6 tons of grape.
And wine slushies.
Yeah, so wine slushies are a really big deal, which I think really serious wine drinkers are like, no, because you craft this wine, you spend a lot of time doing it, and then you just pour some sugar into it and sell the living hell out of it, really. So we have 12 double tanks of wine slushies. We're very much known for our wine slushies. We have all different kinds of flavors. We do Halloween themed. This year, our Christmas theme is Harry Potter. So we'll have like Polyjuice Potion and Unicorn
That's fun.
Blood and Death Eater. So we'll have a lot of fun stuff. This year, the Halloween theme was Nightmare Before Christmas. So we had like green apple was Oogie Boogie. We did pumpkin pie was Jack. So, we try and do a theme. We have Girls' Day Out is coming November 18th, and we're doing boozy milkshakes, making wine. So
that's awesome.
I think Drew and Kevin might need to have a day out up there and drink some boozy milkshakes. I can't see what could go wrong.
We're about 10 minutes from Patoka Lake, which is the 2nd largest lake in Indiana. So frozen alcoholic beverages are perfect for summertime. We call them adult Capri Suns because they come in a block drink pouch, 18 ounces. So it's perfect. People come and just load up on them and take them down to the lake. And it's good for the lake too, because then you're not taking, glass or anything like that down, which is good. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Very
Our
cool.
room is very irreverent.
Well, that's great. And congratulations on all the success, the award-winning Patoka Lake Winery and Resort, soon to have a brewery and a distillery. Did you get my resume, my application to be the master distiller?
I did, and
okay, good.
I filed that, so we do still have applications coming in.
Awesome.
Definitely,
awesome.
Yours will be seriously considered.
Good. I'm not. Let me know when you're doing the background check. Okay. I may need to clean a few things up.
Oh, okay. For sure. I will let you know.
Oh man. All right. I want to ask Drew this: are there any whiskeys that are kind of a Christmas time tradition for you?
Yeah. I wouldn't say necessarily as far as flavor profile, but there's a few things that I kind of always reach for around this time of year. So I typically will always try to pick up the 3rd expression of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof around this time of year. I like that. I will always try to get my hands on Bronner's Nutmeg, eggnog. So try to get that every year. And then Usually, if I can, just depending on my relationship with different managers around town, I will look for an E.H. Taylor single barrel. So those three kind of are things that I hunt for around this time of year in particular, to sip on, to do in cocktails. I like having some barrel proof expressions. I like having a cocktail on hand, just something that everybody can drink. And then something that's a little bit unique for the bourbon fans in my life, a single barrel of the E.H. Taylor specifically, and just say, okay, here's something you may not get the rest of the year.
Right.
Let's just try this. So
Yeah.
those are three that are always kind of on my list around this time of year. What about y'all?
Anything else for you, Jolie, besides the Maker's Mark?
Not anything specific. I mean, really, the community batch is the main thing that I hunt for. Hunter turned me on to that, and then you gave me your bottle after
Mhm.
I blew through that 2020 bottle, and then you gave me one, and then you were so great because you were the one that forwarded me the email from the Lee Initiative, and then
Right.
that got on their email list. I've been able to get them ever since. But they always release a couple of different ones. Like this year, I bought one called the Empress. So it's another one that they release alongside the community batch. And
Mhm.
one called, is it called the Ceiling Crasher or something like that? Again, blended by women in
Yeah.
their chef's program, like breaking glass ceilings. So
Yeah.
just really this main one. We always with our friends bust out like a Midsummer's Night Dram. So
Yep.
that kind of has like a little Christmassy feeling to it. But yeah.
Yeah. Those are all really good. I like to do something in the Willet family because to me it's got kind of that cinnamon red hot note to it that is kind of Christmassy to me. The 291 distillery, I had a bottle of a bourbon finished in aspen staves, and that definitely drank like Christmas. Also, and I was, because I knew I had it down here somewhere, this old Potrero rye
Nice.
definitely has some of those Christmassy notes, if I remember correctly.
I do like to go to Westport Wine and Whiskey the same day that I
that works. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho.
I do like to go to Westport Wine and Whiskey the same day I go and pick up the community bottle, and then whatever Buzzard's Roost single barrel they have at that one. So,
yeah. The toasted barrel Buzzard Juice is a good one for Christmas as well, I think.
I really love everything that they're putting out. Bronner is just, I mean, he has got that dialed in, and I've got one bottle that I have literally savored. It has like this much, and Andy knows he's not allowed to touch it.
Okay, this is 129.4 proof, and that kind of took me by surprise. So let me put this over here a little bit further out of reach.
Your face was really good though for like wigging 130 proof whiskey. Like you were a champ with that.
That's, well, you know, when you're,
it comes with practice.
You're professional.
When you're Kevin Claus, you know, you don't let anything phase you. Let's talk a little Christmas music. We've all thrown out some of our favorite Christmas albums, favorite for different reasons. But Drew, let's start with one of yours. I think you had one that you said was kind of a more of a nostalgic album for you. What would that be?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my nostalgic pick for Christmas, and I know there's going to be other conversations around this tonight, but if I had to pick a unique one, it would be the Harry Connick Jr. When My Heart Finds Christmas. So grew up on that one. Mom and dad always had that. I believe they had it on vinyl growing up. They are big Harry Connick Jr. fans, and by proxy, probably just like absolutely loathe Michael Bublé. He's the Walmart value or Harry Connick Jr. You know, great value brand.
Yeah.
But no, it's it's a great record. There's some great jazz standards on there.
Yeah.
He's got some incredible piano pieces, and that one just gets thrown on,
Yeah.
just about every year for me. So that one's got nostalgic place at home for me.
Yeah. Love it. Are you familiar with that one, Joey?
Yeah, I am. I'm a big Harry Connick Jr. fan. I feel the same way about Michael Bublé. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got a beautiful voice, but he does not have that, like, I don't know, just that croner type, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the word? Am I using that right?
Crooner.
Thank you. It sounded
Right.
old crone.
Right.
Yeah. The crooner, that warm tone to it.
Yep.
His voice is beautiful, but I feel like sometimes it's too perfect. And Harry Connick just the tone of his voice it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely rate Harry Connick Jr. ahead of Michael Bublé.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Bublé, for kroners or crooners, how, I've heard it both ways. Bublé would be well down the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you, Jolie? What's one that you really like?
So when you said that to me, literally the first thing that popped into my mind was the John Denver Muppet album. There,
All right.
A Christmas Together. So it was a Christmas special.
Yeah.
And then John Denver released an album on his label, and it had all of those songs plus some of his own Christmas music. But we watched that so much when we were kids. We watched it every year. And I love the Muppets. I grew up watching the Muppet Show, and so their Christmas specials were always great. And I grew up listening to John Denver. My mom was a huge John Denver fan, so that specifically it came to mind. You said ones that are underrated, and I don't think many people think about like Muppet Christmas albums.
I love it.
That's perfect. It really is, because
so much nostalgia for me, and there's some really beautiful songs on there. So
yeah, agreed. I would also just like to add that if you as a person don't love the Muppets, or at least have an appreciation for them in your heart,
yeah,
I don't trust you, and I don't want to be friends with you. That's a context, like, for being a good person, you got to have some kind of Muppet content in your life.
Yeah.
So, Joey, when was the last time you watched the Christmas Together special with Miles?
Probably when he was little. He's 15 now, so he doesn't really like to watch much of anything with his mom anymore. We make it through like a sitcom. We choose sitcoms to watch together, but nothing really like sit down and watch special.
Yeah.
He likes to watch horror movies with Andy, and horror is definitely not my genre. So
yeah,
yeah,
I'll take a hard pass on that. But
yeah, me too.
See, now you've reminded me of something that I can watch with the grandkids. So this will be great.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
All right, so we'll stay kind of in that genre within the genre.
Okay.
And talk about
oh, so good.
Gosh, I love this. I love this so much. Vince Guaraldi trio, Charlie Brown Christmas.
I can hear it.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun. Immediately.
Yeah. And there's so the thing. I mean, people rag on Christmas songs a lot because they have evil in their heart. But there's so, and I get it. I'm blessed beyond anything that I could ever hope for. And I know that some people don't have great memories around family and around Christmas, and I get that. But to me, Christmas songs carry so much emotion with them. Even the sucky ones. And that's why it's important. And if you're out there listening to this show and you had you don't like Christmas songs, then contact me and we're going to go Christmas caroling together. Okay.
Yeah.
It will be fun. I'll bring a
Yeah.
flask, and we'll go to people's homes that we don't know and we'll sing at them. It'll be great. But
Mhm.
that's the thing, the nostalgia, um, the memories, the emotional connections that Christmas songs carry. Um, that's important. And I guess part of it is it overdone? Is it to the point that it can lose some of its meaning? Yeah, maybe. But man, when you either watch this special or you
Mm.
just hear these songs, it's just incredible.
Mm.
I know I've gone a few times to different places locally where they'll have a trio that'll come in and they'll play the entire album, and so I need to track that down for this year because that's always a lot of
Mm.
fun. But
Mhm.
that's my first one. That'd be the first one I would list. So
That's a
Love
good
it.
good one. And I agree with you. I think that Christmas, and really just like any other major holiday, is terribly commercialized, right? I mean,
yeah.
it is, it's definitely turned into, and I am a decorating maniac when it comes to Christmas. So it's definitely become all about the new ornaments and the color on your
Hmm.
tree and this and that, and I understand that. I purchase a lot of Christmas decorations every year. I decorate for a lot of different people too. So I understand that, but the feeling that a Christmas tree brings into
Hmm.
the house, and when you have all the lights turned off and you turn on the Christmas lights, whether you love them to be white lights or multicolored lights, it really is just all, I feel very peaceful when the tree lights
Hmm.
are on and nothing else is on. It's the favorite place for my cat to lay too. And so
Mm.
that to me is like, she never goes downstairs. She's an upstairs cat. She's very feline. The dog rules the downstairs, but as soon as that Christmas tree goes up, we see her for 2 months straight because she loves being under that tree with the lights. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how you know it's good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
So,
cool.
It's very, very cool. No, okay. I'm getting way off topic here, but Drew, Santa Claus, no Santa Claus in your house?
Uh, no Santa Claus growing up. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pagan in my
Yeah. I kind of
growing
thought
up.
that might be the answer to that
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Um, yeah. How about you, Joey?
oh, 100%
Yeah.
Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to answer,
Yeah.
but uh and there was the year that okay, man, I'm getting way off topic. This is a good story. Um you have time for a good story? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh my older son was probably 9, and uh he was started asking questions about, the plausibility of Santa Claus, let's say. And the answer around our house was always the same. If you don't believe in Santa, you just don't get any presents. So this was probably around November, mid-November, when he's asking these questions. So I set about a plan, and I got a Santa suit, and this is actually the hat from then. So this has been around the block for a while, and I just planned it out that uh, we were at Cindy's parents' house for Christmas, and the kids were sleeping upstairs, and I worked it to where I would be down under the tree, and one of Cindy's sisters were bringing the boys down, and Will was probably 9, and Sam was like 5 or something. And so as they're coming down the stairs, here I am in my Santa outfit. I run through the foyer just at the bottom of the stairs so they saw me. And then I went down into the basement uh, and then changed clothes and ran outside. And I made up this. This was back before you had really good Photoshop software, made up some photo the night before of a picture of their house, and I put in Santa's sleigh and the reindeer. And so I was out there, and then come running in the house and, did you see Santa? And they were just,
Yeah.
believers again.
Losing it.
And
Yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
really cool. And so I
That's
bought
awesome.
another year with the older one doing that. So
Yeah. When I was little, all the big presents came from Santa, right? And that was a big
Yep.
deal. Like the Barbie Dream House came from Santa. That was a huge deal. The Cabbage Patch Kid came from Santa. But when Miles was little, I was a single mom.
mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I'll be damned if Santa is going to get the freaking credit for me putting the giant fire truck on layaway for 6 months and making payments to get this truck under the tree. So he had little presents that came from Santa, things that he loved, but the big presents came from Mom.
Yep. That's good.
Oh
He
yeah.
needed to know, right? Who loved him the most? It wasn't Santa.
Yep.
And then what was great was when he became old enough to know about Santa. He has a younger brother with his dad and his stepmom, and he got kind of brought into that. So that became really fun for him too. So immediately the disappointment was replaced by being able to be in on that and making it special for his little brother. And so that's really cool too.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay. So next Christmas album, Drew, what's another one that you had?
Yeah. Well, I've got one that I consider to be kind of a perfect Christmas album and one that I consider to be kind of a dark horse. So you tell me which direction to go.
Let's do the dark horse.
Okay. So my dark horse is one that hopefully people know about now, but something that was new to me in the last couple of years. The Leslie Odom Jr. This Christmas album, or the Christmas album. So
Mhm.
for those that are not familiar, Leslie Odom Jr. He was a cast member in the Hamilton musical. He's an incredibly gifted jazz pianist, and just put out an incredible Christmas album. I think it came out in 2020. I want to say. Just beautiful jazz renditions. He does a version of Last Christmas. He does a version of Oh Holy Night, which is maybe one of the best versions out there. I know there's some heaters on that one, but top two or top three for me.
Mhm.
His Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas is great, and then he's got some incredible choir arrangements. This big like 6-part harmony with a youth choir and some cool things. So just a great dark horse Christmas album. I think everyone should enjoy it. If you can pick it up on vinyl, it's incredible on vinyl,
Mhm.
but also just worth throwing on, and something that maybe not on everybody's radar. He's not necessarily known as a musician or an artist in his own right as much as he is, Aaron Burr from Hamilton. So
Yeah.
definitely check that one out.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, so I will
Yeah, me
definitely.
either.
Yeah, so it's good.
That's cool.
Hamilton.
Yeah, so that's good. I like that. Learning a new one. Joey, you've got another one, right?
I did. Yeah. Bing Crosby's Christmas. Yep. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. So yeah, I mean, so it turns out Bing Crosby's an awful human being. And that's too bad. But my mom played that Christmas album a lot, even during the summer. Even during the summer, we listened to it.
Mhm.
But I grew up in Southern California, so Malika Liki Maka had a special little feeling because the sun was always shining in Southern California, and the palm trees are always swaying in Southern
Yep.
California. And so, even though it's about Christmas in Hawaii, it's still it's kind of rings true to Southern California when you wake up and it could be 80 degrees outside in December, or 60 degrees. I mean, either way, it wasn't ever, like
Yeah.
here in Indiana or Kentucky. But I love his voice, another crooner.
Yep.
And his voice is fantastic. And there's some really great guests on that album as well. So yeah, I love that
Yeah.
album.
Now, is the David Bowie duet on that album? The little
Ooh,
drummer boy?
Jen.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think.
but that's one of my favorites. I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think it is on that album.
Okay. Okay. Serious question here. Who wore it best?
Well,
I think you're in the running.
yeah, yeah.
I'm at least in the top 2 of that comparison. So
Well,
Yours isn't
of-
doing weird like his is like he's in a fan because it's like over here on the side. Like what's happening there?
I honestly, I don't think he's wearing the hat. I think it was superimposed on the photo. I think that he would probably punch somebody if they tried to make him wear the hat. So
Well, as
anyway.
far as my side of things go, Bing Crosby has given me 0 whiskey in friendship, and you have given me much whiskey in much friendship. So I'm voting with you just for the sake of this conversation.
There we go. Is that better? You
Yeah,
can't
your
you can't even
way better.
you can't even tell us apart. Okay. More horrible Bing Crosby impressions to come. But he does have a tremendous voice.
Yes.
And I referenced the Little Drummer Boy duet he did with David Bowie, which is a Christmas classic. I mean, he did all the Bing Crosby, Bob Hope movies, and we get locked in. Cindy locks us into those Turner Classic movies and all that stuff. So we see all of those movies throughout the holidays as well. So
Yeah.
Anyway. One of mine is Mannheim Steamroller Christmas.
So good.
Fun one.
It's all pretty much instrumental, except for maybe some ooze and stuff from choirs and things. But the version of Silent Night, or they use I guess it's the German translation of Stille Nacht. It starts and I weep. It's just incredibly good. Oh my gosh, so good. Yeah, they've got several Christmas albums. Mannheim Steamroller did, and so you guys fans like those?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah,
super fun.
My mom is a big Christmas fan, and she sings. She attends church at Grace Community Church in Southern California, and they put on a huge Christmas program. Huge. They bring in professional musicians, and they start practicing in August, and it is a huge thing. And they do a lot of they'll do instrumental versions and steamroller music. So yeah,
very cool. Very cool. All right, Drew, I know you've got one other that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. So I try to stay off the beaten path. I don't want to downplay my appreciation for Vince Guaraldi and Bing Crosby, because those are definitely heavy in rotation this time of year. But the other one that I just consider kind of a perfect Christmas album is Norah Jones' I Dream of Christmas, specifically the one from last year, the deluxe edition, which has some live tracks on it. But I love Norah Jones, just an incredible, sultry voice, an incredible pianist, somebody carrying jazz standards kind of forward. Not to compare the two, but I consider her kind of the next generation of the Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald and some of these other voices that are just lost. She's kind of bringing those tunes forward. So she's got incredible tunes on this. Her version of White Christmas and What Are You Doing New Year's Eve are absolutely gorgeous. Some cool harmonizations. But just to point out, Christmas Don't Be Late is a really terrible song that I was introduced to by the Chipmunks, and Norah Jones made me actually love that song again. So it's great album. Literally, we talk about no skips, no misses. That's one for me that I can throw on anytime. Just be like, okay, this whole record is going to be perfect. Don't have to worry about it at all, and I just really enjoy it. So would recommend that to anyone.
Yeah.
Do you feel like her and Harry Connick Jr. have like the same tonal quality to their voice? Wouldn't they make an amazing duo? Like the two of them should come out with a Christmas album. That would be
That
phenomenal.
can be really special.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
like
would be.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be done, right? So they had to do that at some point, right?
Is she a female crooner? Is there a thing?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
Just that old, it's like I don't know, you don't really hear many people, modern singers have that sort of tonal quality to their voice anymore.
Agreed. She's special.
Mhm.
I know this is not a Christmas song, but just I'm curious, Jolie, have you heard her new duet that she put out with Dave Grohl?
No.
Yeah, it came out like a week and a half ago.
Oh
Check
no.
it out.
Okay, I'm gonna
It's
look it
called
up. We're
it's
done.
called Razor. It's great.
Okay.
I
No,
think you'll love it.
I love Dave Grohl.
Sorry for interrupting the holiday festivities there, Kevin, but
Nope.
I just had to see if she'd heard it.
No, that's fine. I was looking. I'm trying. I thought, there's got to be. They at some point they had to sing together, right? But I can't find it. Maybe.
But
All right. If anybody knows if Harry Connick Jr. and Nora Jones have done a duet, especially of a Christmas song together, let us know.
Or if you know Harry Connick Jr. and Nora Jones, maybe you can encourage them to do a duet together.
I think we need to have them on this show this time next year.
Okay.
And just let them sing.
Let's make it a goal.
Yeah, that's all right. Consider it done.
Okay.
Consider it done. Write that down. I've got one other. Russ Taff, Christmas song. Russ Taff was with the Christian group, the Imperials, and put out several contemporary Christian music albums of his own. And then he did this wonderful Christmas album. He's got kind of a crooner kind of voice to him as well. And that's the one. Just put it on, let it go, and really enjoy that. Really good Christmas find. It's probably, I don't know, 30 years old or so by now. So maybe you've missed it. If you have, you can be sure to check it out. It's really good stuff. So, any others that you want to talk about? Okay, a couple questions, and I've got a couple of lists I want us to talk about. Favorite Christmas carol, spiritual song, a Christian carol.
Tough. I always liked O Come, O Come Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
That was one that we did a lot growing up. And then in the church that I was a part of most recently here in Louisville, we cut a couple of recordings of that, and that was really fun. Really kind of enjoy that. This is maybe where more I gravitate to, where you go sad songs and minor keys, more than just the happy-go-lucky, whatever, Christmassy stuff. So I've always been partial to that one.
Yeah. So Mary, did you know? That song. I do not attend church. We are not, I wouldn't say we're spiritual Christian, but I grew up that way. And so I know all the words to every Christmas song sung in church ever. We live across the street from a church that plays bells. And they always play during Christmas time. They play all the Christmas songs. And I know every single word to every single song. And I sing it because it reminds me of Christmas, and I love it. There was a vocalist that used to sing in our church, the Mary Did You Know? And he was this amazing tenor. I'm like getting chills even thinking about it. I love that song. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic. I love it. We, in a church that Cindy and I went to when we first got married, or even, I guess even before we were married, there was a guy that would sing that every year. Gosh, it was so good. He did a great job with it, but the song itself is terrific.
Yeah.
And mine's kind of uninteresting. Silent Night.
It's a great.
Love it, and everything about it. It hits all the notes, or checks all the boxes, whatever you want to say. So that would be one for me. Okay, now Non spiritual Christmas song.
Mm.
I like a kid song, you mean? Or
Anything.
I really
You know.
love Frosty the Snowman. I really do. We always had like a Christmas time during school, and we always watched those specials at home, and we sang those. You always like sang that when you were a little kid. You know what I mean? You sang, you put on like a little Christmas show at your school.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that cartoon. I love the magic hat idea. I love that whole song. I think it's so
Yep.
cute. I think that's one of the songs that people, when they think of Christmas music, they're like, oh God. They just think of that and like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on repeat in
Mhm.
their brain.
Yep.
So I mean, I get it, you know. And of course, obviously, Mariah Carey. Obviously.
Come on, Jolee.
Obviously, she's the queen of Christmas song. And
All
you know, I don't listen to Mariah Carey on a day-to-day basis, but
Yeah.
she is, you know.
She's got that market cornered. That's for sure.
Was it who recently sent me a meme? I think it was Ben, that was like, they've unsealed Mariah Carey and she's been released.
Right.
It's like her coming out of a jar, and it's like the Christmas season can now be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, circle back to Mariah Carey in just a second, but I like "I'll Be Home for Christmas"
Yeah.
or the Christmas song "Chestnuts Roasting on Open Fire." I like that
Yep.
one too.
Any particular version of "I'll Be Home for Christmas" for you?
Oh,
Anybody's rendition?
I don't know.
It's tough. They're all good.
Yeah, that's tough. And Mel Torme singing the Christmas song is tough to beat too. But I don't know. Again, there's just so much goodness about Christmas.
They're meaningful, right? You can count on me. You know, I'll be home. Like it's
yes.
They're meaningful, sweet, loving songs.
Yeah. All right. So let's circle back to Mariah for a second.
Hey.
This is very divisive in terms of Christmas.
It really is.
There are people that they'll get really kind of almost borderline violent, storm the Capitol on you with talking about Mariah Carey. But what are, in all seriousness, thoughts on Mariah Carey and the Mariah Carey Christmas album?
Go ahead, Jolee. I can't talk. I've got NSYNC over my shoulder right now, so I don't have a leg to stand on. It's fine.
One thing that a lot of people don't know about Mariah Carey and Madonna is that they write their own songs. So Mariah Carey is a singer-songwriter. So no matter how basic her songs might be, she wrote them and she devised the tune to them. And I think there is something to be said for that. So I'm not saying that she wrote all of her music, but most of her music, similar to Madonna, they have written themselves. And I think that's pretty cool in and of itself, because I can't write a song, let alone come up with a tune and then have, billions of people listening to it year after year after year after year. So I feel like there is something to be said about that. I don't listen to Mariah Carey. I did listen to her. As you know, I'm a huge fan of pop music. So she had her time. She has an amazing voice. I mean, she can hit notes that not that many people can hit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Credit where credit is due. Her voice is phenomenal.
Yep.
And she had her time. And her Christmas music is, iconic now. So whether you like her or not, you're still talking about her.
Yeah. Yeah. This album came out 29 years ago.
Right. And every year it plays. Every year.
Yes. And it's solid. I mean, I remember when it first came out, and it didn't have any stigma attached to it.
Right.
I mean, we listened to it. It was in the rotation every Christmas.
Yeah, similar to Madonna's Santa Baby. Right. which
Yeah.
is very kind of Cupid doll. You almost think of like Betty Boop, how she sings
Yeah.
it. But I mean, it plays every single year.
Mhm.
Yep. So Drew's still not a believer in
I don't know. I just don't have
Mariah
anything
Carey.
beneficial to contribute to the conversation on Mariah Carey. It's a non-factor for me. If it comes on the radio, I'm going to be honest. If it's All I Want for Christmas Is You, probably switching it. If it's on in a department store, I'm probably going to exit quickly. That being said, you know, you got to give it up, right? You said
Yeah.
29 years of airplay.
Yeah.
She's got an incredible range. She's obviously an incredible talent. I think I just avoid it for the meme factor at this point. But again, there's an NSYNC record over my shoulder right now, so I have no leg to stand on. I will just acknowledge that my opinion means nothing in the pop music conversation for Christmas music.
It's all right. It's all right. So real quick, we're going to run down a couple of lists of Christmas albums, and the first list is courtesy of the we'll just call them the people at Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh.
Not necessarily
That's
a fan.
generous.
Not necessarily a fan anymore, since they figured they didn't have to write about music anymore. But anyway, top 10 ranked Christmas albums according to Rolling Stone. Ella Fitzgerald.
Hmm.
That just, if you have a thought or opinion, just kind of pipe in. But Ella Fitzgerald Christmas album.
Are we
That
working?
at number 10?
Yeah.
Number 10.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
She can do no wrong in my book, so I'm glad she's on the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next one is called Soul Christmas. I don't know that album, but I'm imagining that it has lots of soul singers on it. Do you know it? Soul Christmas? No.
No.
Okay. Number 8, we have one of Jolee's, the Bing Crosby White Christmas album.
Nice.
So we talked about that. That's good.
So agreements there.
Yep. Number 7 is Beach Boys Christmas.
Yes.
See, I thought you'd get that.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. You grew up in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
When was the first time you saw snow?
Oh, I was in junior high. It snowed, nothing stuck, like barely stuck, and they shut down everything. Everything. I think I was in 7th grade, so late 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s, and there was like a hill down the street from us, and we spent the whole day like sledding, but it was really just kind of like icy mud, cold, like wasn't really, I mean, there was a little bit, it stuck a little bit on the ground, but it was nothing. But it wasn't until I was probably 13 or 14 years old.
Okay. All right. Number 6, Louis Armstrong, The Best of Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. That's solid.
Yeah, I think that is solid. Number 5 is A Motown Christmas.
Nice.
Yep. Number 4, we talked about this one, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Great.
I don't know how you could do a list like this without it.
I'm interested to know what's above that one.
Number 3 is James Brown's Funky Christmas.
Ooh. Okay.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Not familiar.
I'm not making this stuff up. Number 2, we haven't talked about this one yet, but I think it definitely is one worth listening to, and that's Elvis's Christmas album.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. And then number 1 is A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector.
What?
Yep. He has
Phil Spector, the crazy guy with the hair in the room.
Yeah, that's him.
The sexual predator, Phil Spector?
Yeah, the
Yeah, okay.
murderer. Yes, went to
Was he a
prison.
singer?
No, he was a producer. And so this album, he has different singers from different genres that come in, and he has them sing different Christmas songs. So,
I think I'm gonna.
fired.
I was gonna say, I think for Christmas I'm gonna ask Santa to get Rolling Stone some different people on their editorial board.
Okay, just real quick. What year did this list come out?
3 years ago.
So he was totally a murderer and behind bars when
Yeah.
it came out, and they were like, "We're
Yeah.
going."
Yeah.
Choices were made.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one stood
Okay.
up and was like, maybe don't put
Maybe
him.
not. Yeah. Maybe no. He was on there. Yep. Good.
Rolling Stone.
All right.
That's
So
everywhere.
yeah. Again, I think that there's some worthwhile Christmas albums on here. There are some that I'm not familiar with that perhaps I'll check out this holiday season. There are some that I might not.
Definitely. Also, I don't think of James Brown when I think of Christmas music, and that's not. I'm not familiar with that album, so it could be really good. But when I think of Christmas, definitely Elvis for sure. If like we had spent time talking about it, but never James Brown. I would have never been like, oh, he does great Christmas music.
Yep. So that will be
also a sexual predator, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
2 for 2. Good
job. A little bit.
Well, and and
chains, basements, that whole
Bing
thing.
Crosby had his issues, and
for sure.
Anyway, all right. So Rolling Stone magazine. There you go. All right. Now these are the 10 best-selling Christmas albums of all time. There is some carryover, but not much.
Okay.
Number 10 is Mannheim Steamroller Fresh Air Christmas. Okay.
Great.
Number 9 is the one that I had on my list, the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas album.
Okay.
So the Fresh Air Christmas one is blue cover, and the Christmas one that I looked at was kind of gold color. So
got it.
The Nat King Cole, The Magic of Christmas.
Yes, that is a good album.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Josh Groban, Noel. Are we Josh Groban fans or no?
I mean, he's got a great voice, but he's kind of like Michael Bublé, right?
Yeah.
He's too pretty for me to be a fan of.
He is really funny. Like he's self-deprecating if you watch him in interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows he kind of carries that weird little stigma, but
yeah. Celine Dion. These are the Special Times Christmas album.
Also a phenomenal voice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kenny G. Miracles. Okay. I don't have a picture of the album cover, but when I was going through the list and I saw it, I should have put it on here. But
this is number 5 all time.
This is number 5 best-selling Christmas album of all time. So the cover, and you can go look it up, but the cover of it is he's there playing his little tenor saxophone, and in front of him is a little baby, just the baby's not facing the camera, the baby's facing Kenny G while he's playing a saxophone, and the baby's like reaching out, and I'm thinking that baby is reaching out trying to snatch that saxophone out of his hands. That's a smart baby. That's child abuse also. But
okay, so side very quick. Marching band season just finished up. My son is in marching band season.
Yep.
My mother, there was a band that had a soloist come forward and played the tenor sax. And my mother-in-law kept going, oh, that guy's playing the Kenny G instrument. And I would go, it's a saxophone. No, it's not. And I, yeah, it is. It's saxophone. It's tenor sax. And she'd say, no, it's a clarinet. And I was like, Kenny G doesn't play the clarinet. Kenny G plays the saxophone. It's a tenor sax. It looks different, whatever. But we had this argument back and forth for like 2 weeks. And then until I just stopped deciding, she just called it the Kenny G instrument. And I would be like, yep, that's it.
Yep. Thank God for mother-in-laws, right?
Yep. I love her, but yes.
The Kenny G instrument. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I am not a fan of Kenny G.
You'd think with all that money he could afford a better haircut. I mean, come on. gel and mousse and long curls and like just no.
Are you familiar with the comedian Mike Birbiglia?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
He does a Kenny G bit. You know, he's like,
Um,
you know, what if I'm the Kenny G of comedy? And everybody's like, and I'm doing my jokes, and it's da 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 da. That's awesome, Kenny. You're great, but it really sucks.
but it's really terrible.
So anyway,
man.
apologies to Mike Birbiglia. No apologies to Kenny G.
Zero.
Number 4, we talked about Bing Crosby Christmas album.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we got 3 spots left. Any guesses?
Mariah's got to be one, right?
Yeah, it's got to be one. Hopefully Phil Spector isn't on there because that's terrible.
Is NSYNC on there?
No,
We get
NSYNC
an
is not.
okay, all
No,
right.
bro. No.
Damn.
So Mariah Carey's got to be she's got to be number 2 or number 1, I would think.
Okay.
Best selling. I mean, she's hit a lot of best selling marks just
Yeah.
in her own albums.
Yep.
What about the Star Wars Christmas special and or the Alvin and the Chipmunks? Are those on?
Oh, Alvin.
Those are guesses. Those are actually guesses, Drew. Yes, I'll give you credit for their being guesses. I'm not saying
I'm just
that they're
trying to think
good.
about the people of America and what they spend money on. Because
Oh,
if
gee.
Kenny G is 4, I have no hope for how good the rest of these are going to be.
Kenny G was 5. Okay.
Oh,
Kenny G was
okay.
5. Yes.
My apologies.
Okay.
That's
So
cool.
number 3 is in fact Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. All right.
Number 2 is the aforementioned Michael Bublé. God, yeah. Okay. And number 1, thankfully, saving the day, saving the list is Elvis's Christmas album, which you can't argue with that. Can't argue with that at all. So,
Okay.
all right. Fun. This is fun. I like this. This is good. I'm in the
Good
Christmas
times.
spirit now. Let's go. Gonna
I have to say I'm surprised that Elvis outsold Mariah Carey.
well, he's had a few more years at it. What I'm surprised at is that Michael Bublé outsold Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Not crazy fans. He's also still current, and Mariah Carey, like, just she's released out of the jar at Christmas time and then put back in. I don't think she's making any current music, whereas Michael Bublé is like still touring and he has active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and then you also need to factor in that the median IQ in this country is 50. So that means, a lot of the people that you're walking around with are going to be buying Michael Bublé albums thinking it's great.
We've insulted so many Michael Bublé fans tonight.
So here's another one. Okay. The duet that we want to see is Harry Connick Jr. and Norah Jones.
Yes.
Mhm.
What about a Michael Bublé Kenny G duet? Ooh. Ooh.
Sure, it would go platinum.
Ooh,
Yikes.
wow.
That's
You
bad stuff.
Pack fans
That's bad
everywhere. Rush to the stores.
All right.
Coming to a Starbucks counter near you.
Yes.
Buy all my music at Starbucks. Yeah.
Oof.
Yikes. All right. So this was fun. I thought this was fun. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Great time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm ready for Christmas now. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about where people can find you all on social media. Jolee, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at the Testarossa. Follow Old Homestead Distilling Company.
Mm-hmm. And that's Old Homestead DC. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. Old Homestead DC, because no one wants to type at Old Homestead Distilling Company. You'd fall asleep by the time you were done with that. But
Right. I would just misspell something in there, and it would.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Come up with something I didn't want.
Winery, at Patoka Lake Winery. So.
Yeah. Okay. And Drew Crawley.
Yep. You can find me on Instagram as well at drew.crawley63. Going to be your most up-to-date spot. The website is drewcrawleymusic.com. We are daily inching closer to having this record completed. I'm getting ready to hit the road a little bit. I'll have some Ohio dates, some Indiana dates coming up over December. And then the goal would be to have this record out as soon as humanly possible. We'll probably wait till after Christmas music calms down. But we're picking up some radio play. We're getting placement on Spotify. So things are great. Thank you to everyone that's streamed. Thank you to everyone that shared. Very,
Mhm.
very excited and very honored that you guys have been a part of this with us.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
When's your Christmas album coming out, Drew?
Whenever I am fully out of money and can get a record company to pay me to make a record of Christmas music. It's like going on Dancing with the Stars. That's when you know it's over.
Okay.
No, that would be good. I was just going to ask you if you're going to work. Are these December gigs? You're going to work in a Christmas song or two?
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'll probably wear a Santa hat under my cowboy hat or on top of my cowboy hat or figure something out.
For Christmas,
Yeah,
Drew.
yeah. So I do want to mention because we've had him on our show before. Is the Deadbeat Cousins have a little Christmas 3-song EP that came out last year. It's hilarious and good. The music's great, but they're awesome. So check out go to Spotify or wherever you get your music. Look up Deadbeat Cousins and you'll find it. It's called Deadbeat Christmas. So there you go. For our show, you can watch this show on YouTube. See, this is the kind of show that you if you just listen to this on podcast, thank you. We really appreciate it. Now go to YouTube and watch it. Okay, because it's just worth watching. I've got my hat that I'm wearing that is I'm trying to make it look like Bing Crosby when he wore it. So I got this hat. Jolee's got her shirt, which is fantastic. So
Drew
and
has a bank in the background.
Yeah, I got a Christmas tree back here. You see that Christmas tree right there? So yeah, you can watch the show on YouTube, and we appreciate that. If you just listen to us, you can whatever your favorite podcast platform is that you can listen to the show there. Apple, Spotify, Google. We have a Facebook page where we release all of our shows. A Facebook group where we can post things that we're listening to and what we're drinking while we're listening to them. So during this holiday season, give us some Christmas music. Maybe you're a big fan of James Brown's Funky Christmas. Let us know. We need to know that. Which track on that do we need to start with?
Yeah, I need to hit me up if that's the case. I need to know who these people are.
Yep. So, all right. So, on behalf of Drew and Jolee and Santa Claus and myself, cheers, love, and Freebird.
Cheers.
Good night and Merry Christmas.
Good night, everybody.